Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and I am back with an OG heavy metal record update. I got 9 slabs of vinyl here, heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal and black metal. Let's get into it. We're going to start off pretty obscure, some of these first ones here I hadn't even really heard of. I took a bit of a punt on these things when they came up, gave them a listen online and went, this is right in my wheelhouse. So the first one we're going to talk about is Midnight Darkness. This is Holding the Night, and I am holding the album. There you go. German heavy metal from 1985. Has a real tasty crack on the snare. I love a good snare sound. The whole thing kind of feels sort of Lizzie Borden-ish, like it's straight ahead heavy metal. It's not thrash, it's not speed metal, it's just heavy metal down the road. So it kind of reminded me a bit of like a German Lizzie Borden, something like that. 5-piece band. It's got twin guitars, one on lead, one on rhythm guitar, and it all moves along at a pretty solid clip. There's no real, sluggish moments or anything like that. Lots of consistent double kick, lots of just chunky riffage. It's just standard heavy metal. And the singer, man, that dude, he can hit the high C's when he really tries. Not always hitting a C, sometimes a C minus, like it's just a little off sometimes, but it's good. He's hitting the high notes. Particularly, there's a song on here. Here's the band on the back. A song on here called "L.A. Prisoner," which is almost the entire thing is in his upper register. Not too sure who's who here. I like to think that the singer's the guy here in the white silks and the leopard print, but that could be anybody. I don't really know. Doesn't really say in order of the photo there. No, that's a bit of a shame. They should have labelled them up. Look, this is just a solid heavy metal album. Like, nothing particularly stands out. It doesn't scream out to me that I am unique or anything along those lines. It's just, it's vanilla, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, it's just music you can power through on a long highway drive and just get your 35 minutes or whatever of heavy metal. That's it. And maybe that explains why I'd never heard of this band, why they only did, I think, this one album. And then kind of vanished for quite a long period of time. Maybe they just couldn't find their place. 1985, thrash is starting to become a bit of a thing. You're in Germany and you're surrounded by your destructions, creators and sodoms, and you're very much just vanilla heavy metal. I don't know, maybe they had a bit of a thing. Maybe the local geography, maybe some certain German cities were rabid fans of Midnight Darkness. I don't really know. What I do know though, in the last 2 weeks, I've seen this thing show up in all kinds of Facebook groups, like people showing it off, so I just thought that was a strange coincidence. I picked it up and everyone else was talking about it, so there you go. But it's a good album. It just doesn't stray from any pack, and it's maybe a year too late to the party on just playing straight ahead heavy metal. It's solid. Also ran 80s German heavy metal. The band moved on. They broke up. Came back in around about 2008 or so. Some of the members reformed as a band called Past MD. The MD standing for Midnight Darkness. Apparently, it's not actually a continuation. It's just a bit of a nudge, wink, wink. Remember that band we used to be in. I haven't actually heard them, so I don't know what it sounds like. But that band is still going, and this band is not Midnight Darkness. We'll take a quick look inside. Get the lyric sheet, which is nice, just black and white. Both sides. Of course, they're just black record presses here. There's the there, and it is on Intercord. That's what it says there. Hot Blood, and distributed by Intercord. Intercourse, I don't know. Whatever. Midnight Darkness, pretty solid stuff. All right, we're really bamming it up a notch with this next one. If Midnight Darkness was not your bag, wasn't fast enough. Man, these guys will. This is Snow White, All Hail to Thee. I've been after some Snow White for, quite a couple of years now, I think. The band name just sounded so intriguing, so I started looking into it that way. And then I realised that there was this connection with Sentinel Beast. We'll get to that in a minute. Not really a connection, but that's what made me aware of this band. Anyway, but what I'm holding here, speed metal, nearly thrash, 1984, absolutely just going straight for the jugular. It is so fast. From the opening sound of like a smashing, like drunken glass bottle, it's just ripping riffs, fast double kicks, tom fills, and the savage vocals of Nicole Lee, also better known as Sue Sharp. That's her real name, has stage name of Nicole Lee. She just rips the words out and just spits them at you. It's so good. She is such a good, powerful vocalist for this kind of band. Like, she has to just have the power to get over all of that speed and loudness, and man, she's really good at it. It kind of reminds me of like Betsy Bitch from Be My Slave, that album, which I got a few months ago. Great album. She has a similar vibe to that. So yeah, the cover here is pretty boring. They could have done much better with that, but anyway, you get what do we got here? 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks in like 17 minutes, 18 minutes. It's technically an EP. It is. They just belt it out. Just absolutely belt it out. Yeah, it's fast. The whole thing is fast. It only slows down once for Never Felt Like This, which you might gather from that title is your token ballad, but even then, like, she starts with her big soaring vocals on that one, lots of grit, and then it kicks in with the guitars that almost sound doomy because they're just so heavy, and it does get some more pace back into it. It's not your twinkly piano ballad, not at all. It's guitar heavy metal ballad. And then Rock City Destination, that last one, it starts off a bit Motorheady, Rock City. Starts off a bit Motorheady, but then we're just right back to the ripping speed metal at the end. So, it opens with a track called Sledgehammer, and it's just fast pretty much all the way through. Top quality stuff. So yeah, the lineup in this one's Ian Tafoya on guitars, Nicole Lee, that's Sue, on vocals, and Sparks Tafoya on drums. So I guess there's a brother family act going on there. The band mostly moved on after there's an album after this. There might be 2 albums, I'm not too sure. I think it might just be 1. The band mostly moved on to Cyclone Temple, which is a bit more heavier thrash. They moved on to that. I'm not too sure what happened to Nicole Lee, but there was a period of time, according to the archives and Discogs, I checked both places, Debbie Gunn from Sentinel Beast was playing with Snow White, but I don't think recorded anything. So maybe did some tours, and then the band folded, and she went back to Sentinel Beast at that point. So yeah, not too sure what happened with Nicole Lee after Snow White, no idea, but she's ripping on this thing. So yeah, I've played this because it's only so short. I've ripped it out about 4 times now. It's so satisfying. No inner, just just the black record here out on Enigma. Not too sure what that is going on there. Some kind of image. And no inner sleeve. That's it. That is literally all you get. Discogs didn't talk about any inner, so I don't think I'm missing one. So there you go. Snow White, All Hail to Thee. Awesome. Next up, we've got some French language heavy metal from 1983 with a glorious cover. I love this. This is High Power. Self-titled album, High Power, and man, look at this thing. I don't know what's going on. But it's absolutely amazing. Somebody loved it enough that they signed their own artwork, but it's amazing. We'll just stay with that. This album, top quality, 1983, so don't expect thrash or anything. This is sort of mostly rooted in like mid-era Judas Priest, early Maiden, like that kind of thing. Other French bands, obviously, like Sortilege, but it's got its speed. Like, it opens with a really speedy number. So it's all in photos A1. It's all in French language here. So the first track translates to "Go Away," which I thought was hilarious. I assume they meant it in a bit more of an angry way. Maybe it's more like "get stuffed," but "casse-toi," I guess, just directly translates to "go away." But anyway, it starts it off with an absolute bang. It's just your standard heavy metal album, open with the fast one. And it kind of goes on like that, like it's just a solid side A that then closes with this track. This is worth talking about at length. It's called Offrande Charnelle, which translates to carnal offering. And that really, really starts painting a picture here. If you translate all these things, it's kind of spooky and evil. Like, I mean, and this glorious demon leopard whatever the Christ that is. You know, that's what they're definitely going for here. They're not going for happy fun time heavy metal. There's some darkness going on here. That track particularly though, this one, Carnal Offering, 8 minutes. 8 minutes long. It's slow, it's chunky, it's epic, and it sounds really sinister. That's what I really liked about that one. It's a genuinely pretty cold and evil sounding track. It has demon growls and like this evil ambience in it. 1983, I mean, in France. It moves into, it's got like a piano section, but even that's kind of spooky. Like it's not your twinkly power metal piano or anything like that. There's no Meatloaf. It's, you know, it's your big organ piano. Like it's nasty stuff. It's great. It has sort of like that combined with just drums for a bit, just drums in this piano that's pretty spooky, and then it builds in the guitar. Just keeps building up, and gets. I was listening to it going, man, this is starting to sound like a Goblin instrumental. Like, is this, you know, kicking off the start of Profondo Rosso or something? That's where I was thinking that was going to go. You know, that kind of vibe of progressive rock, but dark like Goblin. So that was cool. The vocalist, which is this guy here, look at that, absolutely metal. Metal as, he's got his leopard print, got his hanging microphone and sequins top, got his wrist studs and everything. Amazing. Patrick Malbos is his name. He hits high notes for long stretches. So like 4 full bars, he's right up there for he can do it, I can't do it. But anyway, he does that for like 4 whole bars. I probably just blew up my own eardrums. If I didn't blow up your eardrums, I blew up mine. And the lyrics on that particular track he wrote as well, which me mentioning it might sound a bit strange because the vocalist writing the lyrics, but that's not the case. The lyrics for the whole thing besides that track was written by his brother, who doesn't play any instruments on here. He just must have roped him in to do the lyrics. But yeah, Patrick Malbos did the lyrics on this one, and it's like the whole album is great, but it's worth it just for that track. And it kind of reminds me of something like Fade to Black. I started to think of that at least twice on this album, so I thought when I was listening to this one, 1983. I mean, I think that's we're before Ride the Lightning, so it's just a coincidence, right? But I thought of it a bit when I was listening to that track, and there's also the second last track on here, which Kama Undam, whatever. It translates to Like the Damned, I think, and that's the ballady type track, but again, it carries that dark sound to it, and it does follow even closer, sort of the Fade to Black. You know, it does the softer bits and then the heavy dun 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 dun, and then we get into the heavier bits and it builds up. It goes back to the softer bits. It reminded me a lot of that structure, so it's really cool. The whole album is really good. I've been really enjoying this one, High Power. It's out on, I'll bring it out, on Devil's Records, which I showed one in my last update, I think. It might be 3 albums or something now I've got from Devil's Records, and I want to get some more because everything they're doing is just this quality French heavy metal, and I'm really enjoying it. Do we get an inner? We do get an inner. There we go, there's the Devil Records again. Lyrics, very simply typed up. There's the band. It's all in French again. So that's awesome. And I mean, it's just a solid little obscurity. And I was very excited, particularly about that Carnal Offering track. I had to share it around a few people. Hope they enjoyed it. So there you go. High Power. Fantastic French metal from 1983. And we are still in the land of the croissant. We are in France. This is Demon Eyes with Rites of Chaos. 1984 French heavy metal, out on Ebony Records this time. Soak in that cover because that is the reason I spotted this one in the crowd. I was looking on a Facebook post. There's a guy in a local Facebook group that chimed in a few weeks ago now saying, I've got this whole bunch of stuff, is anybody interested? And put it this way, the amount of people that were interested caused the Facebook spam bots to kick in, and nobody's comments could get read because we apparently spammed the absolute hell out of the post and it got blocked. It was a special time. And Demon Eyes was one of the ones I picked up and everything else you've seen so far from this one seller. So very, very lucky. But this cover, when I saw that, I went, okay, that looks amazing. Quickly looked it up, listened to it for about 2 minutes and went, yes, please, I will try to get this one. Demon Eyes, Rites of Chaos. So this band's been around since 1982. It's formed by two brothers. It is speedy, hard rock and heavy metal, plenty of double kick, raw, really raw, raging solos. Every track has this just youthful energy and ferocity to it. I mean, look at that. It's the Rites of Chaos. It's a ferocious one without being like super fast or anything like that. It's just French heavy metal from '84, but it is got this just grit and balls to it. I really, really liked. Like, it's just real metal riffs the whole time. Plenty of chug, lots of chuggy riffs, not just all fast and ripping and stuff like that. It is more in the chug and just the sound of the guitar. Like, it's got this thin. It sounded like sort of Kill 'Em All, right? Metallica Kill 'Em All, like really razor wire, like just the kind of tone that lets you go fast and precise and have this real, like, literal metallic edge to the tone. It was, really, really good sounding stuff. The drums, they just drive along with the whole thing. The bass also just rumbles along. For me, it's all about the guitars in this one. It is such a good guitar album. And this quality Gary Sharp artwork. So if you recognize any of the touches on this thing, it's the guy that did the paintings for Savage. He did some Grim Reaper stuff as well. So you can sort of see that style. But I think this one is just amazing. Such a good sort of demon thing going on there, and there's his eyes. So good. That's what sold me on it, that cover artwork. There's the back. It's the band. They're playing live, looking incredibly metal. So there you go, 8 tracks. It's got, I like in this one too, is it's got the French name underneath the English name, so I don't have to do poor quality translations. They've done it for you. Give us the necessary power to revenge us from all those who detest the demon. Signed, Demon Eyes. Amazing. Look at that expression. He's just like, yeah, you want some demon eyes? I don't know. That's what he's looking like to me anyway. This is amazing. You can write to their fan club. Just send Tanya a letter to 14 Rue de la République, and she'll get back to you. Maybe not. Anyway, inside we don't have another inner. We do have the Ebony Records there, and there's nothing much else to show. It's just Ebony Records on black. But yeah, great condition. All of these have been great condition. Some of the covers have been a bit weathered, but all the records, A+, no crackle, no pop, came up lovely after a nice wet clean. Couldn't be happier. Demon Eyes, Rites of Chaos. So this 5th album, and the last one I'm going to show you from that job lot that I scored on Facebook, which was, just right timing, right place. This one is another one and done band. I really wish there was more from this band. They kind of continued in a different way, but as for this band itself, just this one album. The band is Energetic Crusher, Path to Oblivion. Fantastic cover. I've always liked this cover, and trying to get this one for at least a couple of years now. I was reminded about it from my good buddy Extra the Mutilator. He shouted it out, but it was something I had seen before, and something I kind of forgot was around. I didn't remember to add it to my wish list, and then I forgot about it. So he reminded me, and then I saw it just pop up in this sale. So good timing yet again. This is from 1989. Absolutely ripping death thrash out of the UK. Big and ugly, like Morbid Saint, just that ferocious, nasty death thrash. If you like Demolition Hammer, they came later. This is 89. Demolition Hammer's more 90, 91. You're going to like this. It's very much in that same boat, that vein. It's really, really, really fast and heavy stuff. Pummeling thrash for the duration of the A side. Not much to show you on the back. So the A side is pretty much just blasting death thrash the whole time. It does not relent. So good. But then tracks like side B, Brain Damage, that one leans more into the death metal sounds. So they there's more trem riffs and there's more double kicks and less on just the bang 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 sort of thrash side of things. They're really starting to get more into that early Morbid Angel death metal at that time. And it's really, really good. There is a silly track after it, it's called Yuck. I don't know why it has to be there. On the positive side, it is like 1.5 minutes, and it is basically grindcore at the speed of the drums and the guitars. They just spit it out. But it's also called Yuck, and the lyrics are Yuck! It's really silly. It doesn't really need to be there, but at least it's fast. And then at least it moves on to then Warpath, which is another fantastic track, just more speed, more ferocity. So yeah, it's great. This whole album is great. I don't know why the band only did the one album. There's another UK band, one that I'm not that familiar with. I've started to try and look into and what I should get from the band. It's a band called Hellbastard. They're also from the UK. And a bit more crusty crossover, I think, and then might have had an earache album in there as well, and there might have been a bit more sort of deathy metal. I'm not too sure. I haven't listened to them enough. But anyway, there's that band Hellbastard, and this band Energetic Crusher, and after this thing, the two bands combined, and we got Hell Crusher. So now I've got to go and find out what that thing sounds like. But how fun is that? Hellbastard, Energetic Crusher, yeah, Hell Crusher. Why not? That would have been a really great meeting when they came up with that one. I bet it lasted 12 seconds. So anyway, I need to check that out. I need to check out Hellbastard, but everyone else needs to check out Energetic Crusher, Path to Oblivion. Fantastic, ferocious death thrash from the UK, 1989. For those of you that caught my shopping video that I did last week, you will see that I went back to Egg Records and I got more OG press metal vinyl and some great CDs. I went back again, 3rd time's the try. I'm pretty sure I've cleaned it out now, so anyway, there you go. But I cleaned it out in a good way. I'm not going to talk in depth about these ones. I think everybody knows these albums, but I was just stoked to get these. Weren't exactly cheap, but sometimes you've just got to push the boat out if you want to get things in this quality. Everything here is near mint. That's vinyl, that is cover, that is inners, everything. You can see your face in the covers, you can see your face in the records. I haven't even given them a clean besides just a little carbon brush, and they sound needle drop, no crackle pop. Fantastic condition. And the first one, I was thrilled to pick this one up. That is Atheist, Piece of Time. Original press, Active Records, 1990. You know this band, progressive, technical death thrash. They did 3 albums in the heyday, then they came back and did a reunion album. But this one for me is their best, and it's the most just energetic, and it's an 11 out of 10 album for me. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Had the CD forever, but to get this thing, it's got the hype sticker still attached. I mean, look at it. There's not even any edge wear. There's nothing going on here. It's absolutely amazing. There's the band, looking very 1990 there. Got their denim jeans on. He's looking very happy. Oh man. All their first 3 albums, particularly the first 2. The first 2 albums are amazing, and the third one, Elements, also is pretty great. But for me, Piece of Time is just a piece of art. 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 100 out of 10. This is such a good album. And yeah, we will take a look at the majesty inside. So there you go, there's the inner lyrics. Fantastic condition. I'm going to be saying that quite a bit. There's the band. And we will take a look inside. So I gave them new inner sleeves, of course. There's Active Records there. Absolutely fantastic condition. Just shiny as, so good. Pop back in. And it sounds amazing. As I said, it sounds like it's been never played. There's actually a good chance that that is the case. So talking to the shop owner, the collection that he bought was 95% CDs, right? 95% CDs, and he is pretty convinced that the person was only a CD player and had a handful of records. We're talking maybe 24 at tops. And sort of just maybe bought them, maybe didn't even have a turntable, maybe bought them just to show. I don't know. He doesn't really know, but he's pretty sure the playing time was limited, and it is proof. This is proof. The quality is amazing. I would not be able to find a better quality unless it had a shrink wrap on it. So there you go. Atheist, Piece of Time. Amazing. And if you thought that was fantastic, I nearly keeled over when I picked this one up, because I just got the reissue CD, and I showed that maybe less than 3 months ago. Brutal Records did the CD reissue. Brutal Records did the original vinyl. This is not that edition. That's the American edition or Canadian edition. This is the UK press, but still, it is from the vintage years 1988. Incubus Serpent Temptation. The damn thing is new. This one's the mintiest of all of them. It is so good. This is one of my favorite death thrash albums. It took me a long time to get around to this one. I've always known the follow-up Beyond the Unknown, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but this one is way more thrashy, I think, and that is something that I've really been listening to a lot of digitally for a long time, and I never had a CD. The CD was impossible to get. The record, I wasn't looking for vinyl for a long time. I was looking for CDs. And then I got the reissue CD, and I'm like, yay, I finally have this thing in a physical copy, and now I've got the original LP. What a shame. So, anyway, it's just amazing. But this is the edition that came out on Metal Works. So I think it's UK, or it says manufactured in West Germany, so it's a European edition of some description. But I think it's UK. Amazing. The only thing it's got is there's obviously been a sticker here at some point, way back when, that's covered it up, and that's come off. So it's lost its sheen in the corner there, but otherwise, fantastic. If you don't know the band, you need to go check them out. There's the inner. It's death thrash, but it's got this. Lyrically, it's a Christian-themed band, right? But they do not rub your nose in it like certain other bands. There's no Noah was a Noah here. It's you just wouldn't know unless you really, really dug into the lyrics. And even then, you could look at them and go, is this a satanic band? I mean, it's kind of like, how do you really know? Like Serpent Temptation, obviously, temptation of the devil, but there's a track here, blaspheming prophets, and then underground killers. It's not that on the nose. There's your thrash collage, fantastic. We will take a quick look inside. And, there you go, there's the inner. We'll take it out, quick look at it. And it's got a few fingerprints on it. They could be mine, hopefully not. But otherwise, fantastic condition. Metal works there, beautiful. I'm really thrilled with it. And again, when I put it on, it sounds brand new. So can't argue with that. So there you go. Incubus Serpent Temptation. So good. I'll really receive that in a minute. And I love the artwork. I always have. This band had a bit of a rights problem with that silly alternative indie band. So they were Incubus for 2 albums and they went to bed. That was the end of the band. They decided to come back and play some more albums, but by that time, I guess the rights to Incubus had expired, and they had to change the name to Opprobrium, which is not a great name, has to be said. So that itself is a good reason to get these original versions, because it says Incubus at the top and not the silly reissue name. So there you go, Serpent Temptation, amazing album. So if that wasn't enough, when I see Serpent Temptation, I then flick right past it, and the next one underneath is Beyond the Unknown. I mean, I had some pretty good luck on the weekend, that's got to be said. I've loved this particular album for a long time now. I've had the CD for ages. This one's 1990. And it's a slight change for the band, not much. Still a death thrash band, but they've just been nuclear blasted. That's what's happened here. They've become a bit more death metal. Production is a bit more, I don't know if it's Morrisound. It could be, but it sounds like that if it's not. Like it tells me on the back. Does it say anything about Morrisound on here? Oh, it does, Morrisound. There you go, it's Morrisound. It's in Florida, so that's why. There you go. Has that dry sound that you get from bands like Monstrosity and that kind of thing, which I love. You either love the Morrisound sound or you don't. I love it. I think it's fantastic, and I think it screams out 1990 death metal to you. So that's what you want. And this album is just amazing. It's so good. And the thing with Incubus is if you've approached it from all the other Morrisound death metal bands, it sounds really thrashy, and that's the angle that I approached this band with too. I had all of the cool stuff from all the bands, from Nuclear Blast and from that studio that produced a lot of the music. And then I found Incubus later. I'm like, oh wow, this is thrashier. Oh, well, there you go. That's quite different. Such a good album. What else can I say? There you go, Incubus. 2 of them. Same day. Mint condition. I know, I'm lucky. Stop hating me. There you go, there's the inner. Great photo there, band. Put his bullet belt, pulled his pants up too high. Kind of a Punisher kind of skull going on there, amazing. There's the lyrics. And a quick look inside again, and we get the nice bright blue Nuclear Blast Records, and pull it out briefly, and once again, beautiful condition, nice and shiny. Could not be happier. So yeah, Incubus, not opprobrium. They can take that poorly choiced name, or really that alternative rock band can go and get stuffed, because these guys were there first. And yeah, I don't care how long it goes between albums. You can't take another band's name. Slayer's broken up now. We're going to get a new Slayer? Of course we're not bloody going to get a new Slayer. Incubus, Beyond the Unknown, amazing death metal album, thrash album, death thrash album, whatever you want to call it, 1990. I still think Serpent Temptation is a little better for me these days, just because I really dig the ferocity on that one. But they're both amazing albums. And speaking of amazing albums, there's only one way I can end this video. We're talking about all these OGs, and I showed last week that I picked up a copy of The Return. I already had the debut from Bathory, and here we are, Under the Sign, the Black Mark. It's always been my favourite from Bathory, and this is just, it's got a little bit, unfortunately, you might be able to see a little bit of a dog ear there. It's how it was, you know, whatever. Can't get perfect, but otherwise, it may as well be perfect. What can you say about this album? It is foundational. The entire second wave black metal scene would sound very different if it wasn't for this album and the 2 before it, but particularly this album. Listening to it with fresh ears again yesterday, and I popped it on the vinyl, and you know, I think something like this you have to play on vinyl, and yeah, really listening to it with fresh ears, I literally heard riffs that Immortal used later. I heard, you know, some Death Crush, Mayhem kind of stuff in here, but really there's a lot of where Immortal was going later, you know, in their sort of second and third album kind of stuff, with Under the Sign, and yeah, big influence for sure for the rest of the scene. There's the back, beautiful. So this is the Under One Flag press, 1987. According to Discogs, there was a couple of presses in 1987 from different plants. This is the Aston press, I think is what it's listed as, which I think might be the very first one, but there you go. Beautiful. Fantastic again. And a quick look at the LP. Inside, there's the Under One Flag. The way you can apparently tell the difference between the 2 first pressings that are both Under One Flag, there's a few different things to look for, but the one I thought was the most obvious. The Aston press, the 33 RPM and the U have space between them. There's the other press, I don't know who the plant is on that one, but the Under One Flag overlaps that text, and that's how you know you got the other press. But I mean, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. It's freaking mint condition. Bathory is what it is. Absolutely outstanding. Played it yesterday. Played it loud. Played it with a drink. And I toasted Hawthorne for his contributions, significant contributions to heavy metal and black metal. Bathory, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. I mean, it's why we have Black Mark records. Yeah. There you go. Amazing. Amazing. And they are the 9 records I'm going to show you today in this OG heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal and black metal record update. Hope you enjoyed watching this one. I'm pretty happy with this haul, it's got to be said. Definitely one of my favorites in a long time. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and thank you to the 4,000 subscribers that I apparently now have. We just reached that milestone, and yes, it's been a ride. I've been doing this for about 11 years at this point. I think it was 2011 I kicked off, doing just movie updates, not filming my face, using a potato for a camera. But we had fun in the early days, and here I am now on camera showing metal as well as movies, taking you on shopping trips, I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping you are too. So please, yes, check out this thing. Check out that thing. I'll see you all next time.